What was a huge trend that everyone has forgotten? Delia said. Cupcake bakeries popping up everywhere about 15 years ago. Tattoo chokers in the 90s and then they were popular again about 7 years ago. Scrapbooking and cricket machines. Diamond grills on your teeth. Scaring your cat with a cucumber and recording it. Delia said. Cupcake bakeries popping up everywhere about 15 years ago. Tattoo chokers in the 90s and then they were popular again about 7 years ago. Scrapbooking and cricket machines. Diamond grills on your teeth. Scaring your cat with a cucumber and recording it. Chip 1101 said. One of my favorite ways to waste time is looking up really old flash mobs, not even necessarily big or famous flash mobs but ones from really early on. The astonishment on spectators' faces is priceless. I think one of my favorites is Antwerp Central Station to do Re-Me from The Sound of Music, and it's so great because the mob was deep planted within the station audience, reacting with shock and awe for almost all the way through the song and then suddenly busting perfectly into the choreographed moves because they weren't on it all along. Love it? https://yahoo.be/7eyauazli9k. Edit. Thanks for the comments and awards. Edit 2. I can't reply to everyone who commented, but please know that I read them all and I'm so happy to share in the joy of this video with you. Flash mobs may have become outdated and cliché or may be inconvenient to passers-by, but I think this one has succeeded in bringing simple joy to so many audiences over time, and I cherish simple joy. Witnessing your simple joy has made my day, so thank you. Shortanow said. My absolute favorite is this one of the Hallelujah chorus at a food court. I think all the elements came together perfectly. It was Christmas, so everyone was in a good mood, the people performing had amazing talent, and it was early enough that people weren't sick of it yet. Prank Owl said. Those Lisa Frank Trapper Keepers covered with brightly colored, ultra-flamboyant, psychedelic fever dream-inspired illustrations of dolphins, unicorns, rainbows, etc. They were so in your face that you pretty much had to respect them no matter what your attitude towards that kind of art was. I remember a time when it seemed like virtually every girl in elementary school had one of them. Campbell Chunky Cyst said. I saw someone make that reference recently and everyone's response was that movie was classic. As the only person who seemingly remembered it when it was a commercial, I instantly aged 100 years and died. Slake said. I had a friend die during the time of that song. He was a fun-loving guy, and his wife asked me to put together an edit that started with the first few seconds of Amazing Grace and then abruptly cuts into Party Rock Anthem to be played at his funeral. Gorilla Grease Monkey said. You know, I was listening to a bunch of popular R&B from around that time on YT and it came up as a suggestion. I have no particularly fond memories of the song, but free of the hype and the oversaturation. It's a fucking banger. It deserved its success. Willowy Orsidness said. We called them Scoobies, don't know what they were called elsewhere. Those little rubber strings that you could wind played in different patterns to make one big chord. Then you'd give them to your parents to hang on their keys and that was their only real purpose. Carmadillo 2005 said. Yep. Water bottle flipping, necking unfortunate victims, 2016 and 2017 time period. Scary clowns too, but I couldn't experience it for myself, as I moved out of the area before I could, because my parents wanted to move to Florida. Apartment neighborhood with no trick or treating, not specifically for the scary clown event though. The Law Has Spoken said. Oh my god, I'll never forget I had a Western civilization course for undergrad, and this overly enthusiast frat boy asked the teacher if he could explain Connie to us. He gives this emphatic speech about the importance of awareness and then plugs his frat leader's nomination for Homecoming King. I hated this guy. He used the word advantageous constantly too. Moonrise 93 said. When I was in middle school we had to do that stereotypical play different types of music for plants and see which one grows the best experiment. Well, I did the usual ones, classical, metal, country, pop, rock, act. But to add an extra spin on it, I played nothing but Dane Cook skits for one of the plants. I came home from school one day and that specific plant had fallen off my shelf. All the others were fine. I recorded in my experiment notes that the Dane Cook plant committed suicide. The science teacher thought it was funny at least. Hank 228 said. It's hard to believe that the kid who made the Whip Nay Nay song is now in jail for murdering his cousin. Edit sorry for no source. I thought this was common knowledge. https://www.bbc.com/news/newsbeat-559000380. It's a bitch said. My grandmother used to hoard the shit out of those sons of bitches. She gave each of her grandkids one. I think mine was a panda. Me being a kid, I didn't give a fuck about the collectible status off it, tore the tag off to play with it. My mom and grandma freaked out because it was so valuable. Then I dunno, maybe don't give it to a 10-year-old. They knew I loved playing with my toys, my stuffed animals and whatnot. How did they not see this coming? Nanobuck said. Thinking about it, I haven't really heard much about Hong Kong in a while on here. During its peak on Reddit, it seemed like half the subs were declaring that they were standing with HK, and half the content on the PicVid subs was from the demonstrations there. Then the pandemic and craziness of 2020 happened. Logie Himon said. It wasn't passed. China staged a coup during a legislative session. https://www.cbc.ca/hong-kong-law-maker-forcibly-removed-from-legislature-1.558443/hong-kong-law-maker-forcibly-removed-from Then further when they limited the number of directly elected legislators in Hong Kong. https://www.ctv.ca/mobile/world/China-sharply-reduces-elected-seats-in-Hong-Kong-legislature-1.536769. The entire world watched it happen without even the prophesied whimper. Chihong 321 said. I'm an overseas Hong Konger, and I don't think a single second of the free Hong Kong trend was wasted. I'll start off with the most important. It gave Hong Kongers a favorable image overseas, important for those who were fleeing. There was definitely a newfound sympathy I found in people when I tell people I'm from Hong Kong, which will come in useful for my friends and family who will flee Hong Kong. Many of us secretly knew from day one, June 9, 2019, that it wasn't a fight we were going to win, but if the CCP wants to suppress us without spoiling their reputation, that we can make them fail at that. The fact that free Hong Kong was as big as it was and trended for as long as it was, is a resounding success if it meant making far more people think twice before trusting CCP propaganda. Edit. I woke up and find that this blew up. Glad I could still use what skills I have to help. Mayo and again said. Everyone wearing their jeans really low. Like so low you could see the boxers they were wearing. In the UK. In 2010. Edit. I know it's still going on, but it's much less pervasive than it was, and it was also the preppy, rich boy class who took it up most heartily. It was coupled with dyed blonde hair often, too. Crane 335 said. Lawn darts. Seldom to never talked about in this day and age, one of the few toys that you can be criminally charged for possession. That's why growing up in the 80s was awesome. All the adults were wearing short shorts at picnics while being drunk and sometimes high off cocaine, throwing sharp, weighted metal projectiles high into the sky while unsuspecting children and grandmothers were standing in the drop zone. Those of us that made it out alive got to ride home in the rear-facing seat of a red Ford station wagon with the wood paneling on the side, no seat belt, while listening to Iron Maiden. True story. Opossum Jesus has risen said. So the milky ones were the gel pens that had ink that had a pastel milky look to it, as opposed to the neon metallic sparkle ink that gel pens had. It was basically a different types of gel pen. I think there was also a brand that specialized in them in the way the Jelly Roll brand was the brand of gel pen to have. Bougie Balls said. Here is what I can think of at the top of my head. Late 2000s early 2010 edition. The Sheila Booth just do it meme that nerdy look along with the mustaches on everything, having a colorful feather in your hair, having a colorful ball on top of the antenna of your car. I guess this is more of a Karen thing now, but Eiffel Tower and British flag designs on everything. Galaxy pattern. Customizing your smartphone fonts and apps to look for more girly or aesthetically pleasing. Peace signs everywhere. Crackle nail polish. EOS and Baby Lips lip balm. Huge popularity in DIY videos, like Glitter Forever. Later Satter said, I remember that. I've always loved the rhythm of swing, so in high school I was all about this group called the Stray Cats. Love them. Fast forward to the 90s and had long since stopped listening to them when the Brian Setzer Orchestra comes along, which really seemed to be a primary driver of that revival that you mention. He seemed to almost single-handedly push that music into the mainstream again. Diamond-Eyed Octopus said, bacon everything. There was this one insane trend for a wall where you could buy anything in a bacon-themed or even flavored variety. T-shirts, toothpaste, yogurt, energy drinks, gummy bears, and Band-Aids, just to name a few. It was ridiculous. You couldn't go anywhere without being battered by a blistering bouquet of bacon. Jasper Dolphin said, jerking was one of the most short-lived fads I have ever seen. It was around for like a single summer in 2009 for a handful of months where everyone was wearing colorful skinny jeans and jerking. There were tons of YouTube videos and songs made with a bunch of views, and the whole dance popularity randomly stopped all at once. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/jerkin%27. Pepper Red Citrus said, at a family gathering a couple years ago, the little kids had practiced and we're going to put on a dance show. After they finished, they requested a couple different songs be played and we're making it up as they went. One of the adults requested Sandstorm. The kids were a little confused but danced through the intro, and then right before the drop they asked if the song was over. All the adults just laughed and told them it was about to be the best part. Franny Bob Anna 23 said, yes. They work on it in kindergarten and first grade. The kindergarten teachers in town are awesome and make it fun by earning stars with each skill, with the end goal of becoming 5-star generals by the end of the year. The star skills are being able to write your first and last name, putting on and taking off your coat, zipper, button up, tying your shoes, knowing your address, knowing a parent's phone number. American Picket Fence said, My Little Pony 10 years ago you couldn't walk 2 steps online without having pony pussy shoved in your face. Even in my school everyone had their favorite pony. My brother was obsessed with it and I could tell he was into it because he was sexually attracted to these cartoon ponies. Thank God that crap is over. Me for Hong Kong said, treating people with depression with respect. Everyone got in on that fad, got to feel real good about themselves for being such good people, then went bang on back to treating them like they were just using it as an excuse for bad behavior, that they were being selfish because they don't have any real problems and that nobody wants to hear about it. Floyd Fan 831 said, I don't know if they were ever popular anywhere outside of my specific elementary school, but Crazy Bones. They were these little plastic figures, about an inch or so tall, and they had a ton of crazy designs. Basically what you did is you and a friend would each line up a few of them a few feet apart and take turns sliding one at a time trying to knock down the other players. I have no idea if that's what you were supposed to do with them or not, since basically nobody I've ever talked to that didn't go to that school has never heard of them and just looks at me like I've got a second head. Frankosaurus 7 said, the Popeyes friend chicken sandwich. It was like you couldn't find it anywhere for months, then I think pandemic happened and killed it? But no one mentions it anymore, since all the competitors seem to have come out with their own version now. Even in the beginning all the loyalists were claiming Popeyes would be #1 forever. I'm more of a Chick-fil-A guy myself, but still haven't tried the Popeyes one and want to know the hype. Edit. Spelling.